ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters. Fantastic you've come here today. I want to discuss with you, really, who the head of the snake is. The head of the snake that's not only doing this to Britain, but to the world. And it's here on our doorstep. And it's a 1.2 square mile city of London, the Crown Corporation. It is an ancient corporation that's been there even before William the Conqueror. And these people are pure evil. That is the head of the snake, as I say, that is doing this to the world. They don't only control every central bank in the world, the fiat currency, except for 3 nations. They also control all the big multinationals, the big pharmaceuticals. They control the mainstream media, which is why everything we get is what they're saying. They give what they want you to hear, not you folks, what the general population wants to hear. They give it to the Tavistock Institute of Psychology. It's also given to many offshoots of that, Hudson, Rand, there's endless numbers. And then it's psychoanalyzed and given to the slimestream media, who just read from a script. They know it's lies. I want to also say to the mainstream media, while I'm on them, you are going down with this. You're going in the cell. You're all looking at a cell and a concrete bed. And if you want to try and lessen that sentence, you need to reverse what you're doing right now and actually come clean. Because you are going down for serious time. In fact, I would throw the key away if it was up to me. But anyway, what I'm going to talk about, folks, not only do they own all that, the multinationals, the mainstream media, they own all the big multinationals now that's been running the show since they shut everywhere down last March. Because last March, when they want to bankrupt every small and medium business, and that's why these lockdowns were put on. Because these lockdowns, yes, have been shut down. All these small businesses, medium businesses have been closed down because they own all the big multinationals. They want to take over. But this is not just about money here, folks, as I'm sure many of you know. This is about total control, which is why they're bringing in the digital banking system, or at least trying to. But this is about total control. I'm going to give you, roughly, because they are controlling nation states, our parliament's just a front for the Crown Corporation in the City of London. It's a front. Boris Johnson, as all those before him, is just a puppet on a string. He's dancing to their tune all the time. It means nothing, and it doesn't matter what party you vote, you're getting the Crown Corporation that's controlling the show. They have their remembrancer sits next to the Speaker. He controls our Parliament, and he'll shut down anything that the Crown Corporation don't want, and no MP will go against him. And it's the same in they're controlling also at Chatham House. They control the global governments, every government except for one. Even the military might of America, they control. They control all the Federal Reserve banks, the 12 federal banks, is controlled from the Bank of England. And they control, as I say, every central fiat currency bank in the world, except for 3 nations. Now, what they want now, it's not all just about money. I'm sure many of you know, they've got lots of technology we don't even know about. They want total takedown of humanity. I'll tell you, I'll roughly give you a history of how them people got to be in control. Now, it does go back. It goes back to 1600, Queen Elizabeth I. She gave a small company of tradesmen in London, she gave them like a royal warrant to run this company. It was called the British East India Company. And it became, over time, the biggest company in the world. By about 1630, 1640, there was having opium grown in Kew Gardens. That opium grown in Kew Gardens was then sent over to India. It was being grown in massive numbers in India. That's why Britain had an army in India. It was to protect the opium. And later on, at a later date, in Afghanistan as well. The reason we had armies in Afghanistan is not to protect the Afghanistans. I'd say, obviously, it was to stop the hill tribesmen taking the opium. It was to protect the opium. But our soldiers have been dying for centuries to put money into the into filling the boots of these evil people that's doing this. Now I'm going to go into this now, because by 1680, the British East India Company was running vast amounts of opium around the world. Because those clipper ships, it wasn't just full with teas and spices, the main ingredient they was exporting was opium. Now early on, when they was making lots of money in the mid to late 1600s, our monarch, the Queen, and the monarchs of Europe, many members of the House of Lords, and 9 MPs all became shareholders of this British East India Company. Now for 250, well, 200 more than 200 years, they've been running all the opium. It didn't go into our country, that money didn't. It went, they filled their boots up with it. So we've got armies dying and in wars to protect and put money in their bank accounts. We're talking about all the monarchs of Europe, and there's a lot of them. And our monarch, all shareholders. By the year 18, I'm going to clip across now quite a lot. I've got to keep this narrow because I've only got a certain amount of time. By 1874, they was publicly exposed in Britain by a barrister called Alexander Grundy and the Round Cheese Trust. They publicly exposed them. Now it got all over Britain that they was illegally exporting all these drugs to the world, exporting misery, all the monarchs, including our monarch. Now, instead of stopping or being actually indicted for what they were doing, because it was a criminal offence then, what they did was they all got together and decided to join forces with the big industrial giants of the day and the bankers. And that's what they did. Now the Rothschilds were already part of the British East India Company. They got on very early in, because they took over the Bank of England in 1694. They was already part of the British East India Company. But other bankers came in as well, JP Morgan and all these other, but also some of the big, as I say, industrial giants. And what that made then, when all these big, what the Queen calls the commoners came in, what it made was a total of 300 shareholders. 300 shareholders. Now, that was in 1874. Since then, those still the ancestors, the descendants of those 300 shareholders are still running the show now. They hold the head of the snake, the people that are doing this right now. I mean, Rainer Filmich, very eloquent, has talked about the global corporates doing this. They are the people that's doing it. And it's the Crown Corporation. It's not by coincidence that the jab was put out here first in the UK. They fear us finding out what's going on, because the majority of those shareholders are here in the UK. And the Crown Corporation, that 1.2 square mile City of London, that's their back garden. That's where they operate. They've got the head of the World Freemasonry Lodge in there. They've got the Guildhall that contains the Council of 12 and the Remembrancer that actually represents the 13 top families of the pyramid there in the City of London at the Guildhall. They've also got, as I say, the 300 shareholders that all get a piece of the cake. These 300 shareholders total. And the ancestors, as I've said, the ancestors of these people are now running the show now. Well look folks, so they're controlling a third of the world by then, 1874. Since then now, they're controlling the world. That didn't stop. They changed the name from the British East India Company, dissolved the name, and it went to being called, they called themselves the Round Table. They now call themselves I always forget this name, and excuse me, it's the same name as a Christian company. Bloody hell, what do they call it? It doesn't matter anyway. But these people are still running the show today. Now, I am going to the Crown Corporation, the City of London, on the 7th of August. What we need to do is go into their back garden, do a live stream in there. We've done it already on the 15th of May. We need to go in there with bigger numbers. We need to go in there and highlight to the world who's doing this to them. Because these are the people that are doing this. We're going to be going there on the 7th of August, so please look out. And it's from central London. The location will be given out, but please keep your eyes up on Telegram to go there. We need to go there in vast numbers, Saturday the 7th of August. go there in vast numbers, because they're the people that's doing this. It's nobody else, it's them. And they're doing this not only to Britain, but to the world. And like I said, these people don't care for you, they don't care for nobody. They are pure evil. And we have to stop these people. And the only way to do that is to expose the people that are doing it. It's them. They are doing this to the whole world. As I said, 7th of August, please put that in your diaries, folks. 7th of August from central London, and we will give that out at the time. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Everybody keep your eye out on Telegram, and it's going to be the 7th of August. It's feet on the ground. They are the robbers. We are going to take back the power. Terry, thank you.
It will say, ladies and gentlemen, the head of the snake. Going to the head of the snake, the Curry Corporation, it will say that on there, on the 7th of August. The posters will be out well before then anyway, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great day, ladies and gentlemen, and God bless you all. And just one more thing, ladies and gentlemen. Your Heavenly Father and His Son, Jesus Christ, He is with us. He's not with the evil cabal, He's with us. Thank you very much.